Hi, my name is Maite Ortiz, and welcome to my Med Talk, The Mind Will Meditate. I want to start by introducing one of the main characters in my story. Her name is Anna, and I've known her for longer, but she really took the spotlight when I was 15. Anna turned out to be a bitch, a really awful friend. You might think the story has a turnaround where she's great, but I'm surprised we're still friends because she was awful. Is awful. She poisoned my mind, my spirit, my sense of self and direction, and drained me. The rest of my friendships weren't exactly present either, so in this absence, I turned to Anna. She was always there for me, even when it was bad company, and we became very close. She sabotaged everything, surprised me, and distracted me with thoughts on how I wasn't pretty enough, smart enough, worth enough, and as much as she pointed out the small details, she also told me to my face how horrid I was. And I have a confession because it's an unfair advantage to the storytelling, but when I was 15, I named my depression Anna because I became a completely different person. I did not recognize myself anymore. I wasn't Maite. The closest I got to understanding it was telling myself that my mind was a constant musical chairs game, and she took the seat every single time. I used to talk to her like someone was standing at the end of the room. All her words were truth, and there was little to compare them to. So my mind shifted the understanding of the world around me as opportunities for hazard and harm. Death was around every corner. It broke my heart so often. I went to therapy and a psychiatric and more therapy for what felt like 2 years. And every time I went, I came out feeling small and guilty and powerless. And I had no answers, and I was enraged that I had no answers. I went there and I was promised to understand, and I didn't. It just didn't happen, and I was enraged. So I decided to stop going and to learn how to manage it by myself. So I started dyeing my hair so I would look different from Anna. It took me a long time to overcome this disassociation and to learn to listen to myself. And I grieved the person that I wanted to leave behind, but I still face these instances of numbness. The numbness that questioned my life, that led me to hurt myself. And I had allowed my mind to open and to teach me besides letting Anna take the wheel. And it showed up for me. My mind was like, okay, let's check this out. Let's show her. Let's teach her. Let's meditate. And at some point she has to realize what we're doing, right? And like gravity, it pulled me into it. And it happened. Besides focusing on this lifeless sensation of depression, my attention shifted to other things. Art was important and cathartic. The sensation of water dripping down when I was in the shower, or the details of leaves, the wrinkles of hands, the way a feather floats down when you blow it up into the air, the strokes of eyes, ultimately my breath. And for years I meditated, and I had no idea that I was meditating. I sort of tricked myself into getting better and into reading my body and preparing, into changing stillness that didn't feel like numbness but peace. And meditation drew those borders. The border between me and Anna, and so she became smaller. She wouldn't take my chair anymore. It's almost like we sat together. And it wasn't until a year ago that I understood the fact that I was meditating all those years, and that I understood meditation, and not until this training that I not only was able to find and create these borders in my own mind, but I was also learning how to heal that other side. It taught me how to slip back into myself, excruciating but rewarding. In that attention, I gave myself purpose to do things, a purpose that gave meaning and beauty to the things around me, and to me, to ground me, to explore me, to create me, to love me. And we condemn this stillness in society in so many ways, but this specific stillness is what saved me. Out of the notion of what I thought of myself and into a realer and clearer version, I can see myself and I can feel myself changing in meditation. And the funny thing is that I learned how to get out of it the deeper I fell into this hurt. Hurt is a door to depth. The measure and depth of hurt is the measure and depth of love. And in ways I celebrate myself because of how deeply we as humans can feel, how much love we can grow to give. But we shouldn't aim for these extremes. It's exhausting, and being programmed to live shifting from one state of an extreme to another state, all I really want is peace. And your mind does too. We're not used to actually listening to ourselves, and you can decide to actually be with your mind, to see it and to train it. But it'll start without you. As evolving creatures that we are, and the millions and millions of lives that we live, the mind gravitates into finding peace. The mind will meditate.